Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday to everybody. Look, today's discussion, it's not going to be long. It's going to be nice and short. But I wanted to get us back, thinking about what we first wanted to do with our business. What was that thing that you have been praying about, dreaming about, getting to this particular place? What is that thing? I want that thing to be ignited again inside of you. Because the reality is, nothing has really changed. And that's the reason that nothing has really changed. Hope y'all catching this. So within your life, within your business, within your brand, personal development, all of these things, if nothing changes, then nothing changes. And I want you to kind of go back to that same passion that you had years ago, maybe 6 months ago, maybe a few months ago when you was really thinking about this big old dream. What was that thing? Bring that thing back out and allow people to realize how talented, how gifted you really are. Because if you stay in the background, nobody will ever see how dope you are. If you stay in the background, nobody will ever get a chance to experience this great product, this great service that you got. So you got to be able to talk about it. You got to get to the point where rejection no longer bothers you. See, rejection for a business owner, this is a part of the game. This is a part of life, period. Everybody is going to experience rejection because the word reject simply means not to one's taste. Not to one's taste. So everybody ain't going to have a taste for you, but it's going to be some people that's going to go crazy about what it is that you have to offer. And this is why I have this reminder in the back. Do it now. This reminder back here to do it now. And I want to tell y'all the way that the camera is. So while it's facing me, it says do it now clearly for you. But I actually had to write that backwards. So the way that I look at it is actually backwards. But I wanted to put it up the right way for you to be able to see it as a reminder to do it now. This brand that you got is so dope, it's so explosive. But the problem is nobody knows anything about it. Because you've been waiting on somebody to give you the opportunity, give you permission, call your name, but they're not going to call you. Most people are not going to just support you just because you want them to. You got to give them a reason to support you. I told y'all this before a couple of weeks ago. Good morning, everybody. Great book called Key Person of Influence. Within this book, it talks about positioning yourself as an industry leader. And when you do that, whether you are an author, whether you are a speaker, whether you're a coach, a consultant, you have some product-based business, when you get people excited about who the heck you are, automatically people are paying more attention. Automatically now sales are coming in simply because they are having the opportunity to witness this great product, this great service. But here's the thing. Here's where the distraction comes in. You'll start to promote your product. You'll start to promote your service. You'll start doing some live videos, some reels, and putting out content. But then you start to hear nothing but crickets. And during that time, you want to really tell yourself, it's not worth it. Let me just stop. Let me just hang it up. But I'm telling you, it's in that very moment that you got to keep going because things are about to turn around. But if you never give yourself an opportunity to see that type of success, then what's going to happen is you're going to be discouraged. You're going to move on to another business. You're going to try another business. And then eventually you're going to say, this business stuff just doesn't work. It's just way too hard. Maybe I should just go back to working a regular job. And working a regular job is not a bad thing. So don't let anybody make you feel bad for working a full-time job. But if you know that you're somebody like me, and this is the point that I got to, I was unemployable. Hope that makes sense. I was unemployable because I was just not a good worker anymore. It was bound to happen for me to get to this point of doing full-time entrepreneurship because I was unemployable. I was not the type of person that could sit in somebody's cubicle anymore. Even though when I transitioned to have my own office, I was like, I can't be in somebody else's building for the rest of my life. So I started to create an exit strategy. And this is part of what I want to talk about today is an exit strategy. But then again, this is why I have that up there, do it now, because I want you to realize that you having a successful business and brand is going to take you taking action. it's not going to happen by osmosis or just because you desire it. So let's create an exit strategy. Now, within this exit strategy, it's not just saving money, although that is important. What I really want you to do is start positioning yourself like you're already successful now. So start showing people on social media, showing people at live events, showing people even in public, in your family, everywhere, that you are already this successful person. So that means you got to start reading like successful people do. That means you got to start exercising like successful people do. That means you got to change some of your eating habits to act like you are this successful person. Because deep down inside, as much as you want to be successful, you know that there's a part of you that's just like, man, this is like way difficult. I don't even know if I really want this. Good morning. Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know if I really want this because of the work that's going to be required to get there. But I want to tell you from somebody that also experienced that same thing. Being at a job, I was ready to go a year before I left. And the only reason I ended up leaving that job is because they fired me after laying me off during COVID. I'll be thinking about our exit strategy. Absolutely. And during that time, I said to myself, man, you got to make a decision. You want to be out of here, but you have to create an exit strategy. So I'm going to give you all the blueprint of how my exit strategy looked. This meant me looking at my finances, my wife and I, and saying, okay, maybe we don't have time to do 3 months because I got to get up out of here. I got to bust and move a little bit quicker. But let's put together at least a month worth of savings for our expenses, at least a month, because this is going to still give us that fire that we need to work a little bit harder, to really push in a little bit deeper, to be building more relationships with people to make stuff happen. So I just said, okay, let's just do a month at least. But within that time frame, the other thing I said is I'm a full-time student. So I had already graduated and got my bachelor's and master's, but I decided to become a full-time student in the industry that I was a part of. I hope y'all catching this. Look, this is like $1 million worth of game right here. Like, if you follow this exit strategy, I guarantee that you'll be highly successful simply because it works for everybody. It's not a respecter of persons. Like, anybody could use this exit strategy and become massively successful, and I'm giving it to you for totally free. So again, I will put at least a month of your expenses to the side if you can. If you can't, that's okay. But the main thing, you got to become a full-time student in the industry that you're a part of. You got to study the audience, the type of people that will buy from you. You got to be reading books, listening to webinars, listening to podcasts. You really have to immerse yourself in this discipline, in this industry that people that of the people that you want to serve. So for me, that was marketing. So during that time, I was listening to a lot of Gary Vee podcasts, and I love Gary Vee, but bro be cussing so much that it's sometimes hard. So I found some other people that did marketing podcasts that didn't cuss as much. But I was reading a lot of books on marketing. I was reading a lot of stuff on operations. I was reading a lot on building teams and staying focused because, in a sense, y'all, hope y'all catching this. Happy Friday. Hope y'all catching this. In a sense, I had to change and to become a brand new person to reach this level of success that I even got right now. That I could not bring the 2015 Manny into 2022 Manny because that person has some bad habits. That person wasn't making right decisions. That person didn't even know how to properly follow up with people. He didn't know how to run his business successfully. He didn't know how to set up systems and processes and run his operations that was actually going to allow him to be more successful. So I had to create a brand new Manny. So within doing so, I had to go back to school. I had to literally sign on to what they call YouTube University. So like I was on YouTube every single day learning and growing, listening to affirmations, listening to books that would challenge me. See, sometimes we just want to stay in this comfortable place and we don't even want nobody to challenge us. We don't want a book to challenge us. We don't want to read some big words just like above our head. No, you need to be having conversations, reading books, talking to people that make you get up out your comfort zone because look, it's out of that comfort zone is where your success is. All day, every day. Here's the next part of your exit strategy. Hope y'all ready. If y'all enjoying this, just put a 1 in the chat if you're enjoying this. If you're not enjoying this at all, just put a 2 in the chat. So the next spot for your exit strategy is changing who you are around. changing who you are around. Because it doesn't mean you can't rock with some of the same friends that you had before, but now you got to get some new friends. You got to get some successful friends. You got to get some millionaire friends. You got to get some movers and shakers that's in the city that you live in that's already doing their thing. I know that you want a national brand, and that's totally fine to have a national brand. But if you have a local market that you're not touching, then you're missing out, because it's these local people that's in your same city that have way more connections than these people that would speak to you nationally, because they can have an opportunity to meet with you face to face, to really see your energy, to really see your enthusiasm about your product, your service, whatever the case is. Banking relationships is highly important also during this stage. And even though you're at the stage where you're still working a full-time job, if I were you, I would get that business started just so that you can also have some longevity. Let's gently talk about credit for a second, because this is a part of your exit strategy too. You want to improve your credit as best as possible. Now, there are a whole bunch of credit coaches out there that might be mad at me for saying this, but I'm going to tell you the truth because I used to do credit myself. You don't necessarily need to hire somebody to do your credit, but you do need to watch your credit like a hawk. I would honestly sign up for companies like Experian.com. I would go to TransUnion.com and sign up for these different memberships and get at least one where you can monitor your credit on a monthly basis. Because as you transition within your exit strategy, you're going to want to have good credit, because then probably in about a month or so after you start your exit strategy, then you're going to open up a business checking account in your local area. Don't try to get some online banking account. Those are fine, but the goal in this exit strategy is for the bank to build a relationship with you face to face. Because when they do, they're going to like you more, they're going to sense your enthusiasm, and they're going to do everything that they can to try to help you get to the next level, just like it worked for me. So you want to be working on your credit during your exit strategy. You want to then open up a business checking account with that particular business that you started. First things first, you're going to have to get an LLC, or you can do a C Corp or S Corp. Go to Google and you can find out what each one means. But you definitely want to start a business with the state. Each state is going to range from like $75 to $150 for you to register your business with the state as an LLC, S Corp, C Corp, NLP, which is like a limited partnership. I think I said that one right. But then after that, you want to start building up your business credit, because if you're creating your exit strategy, you don't want to have to be at this job for the rest of your life. So you want to be putting some stuff in place that's going to get you a little bit closer towards this life that you ultimately want to live. But you're going to have to become a different person. And this is why I'm saying, within this exit strategy, I want you reading, I want you studying your market, the people that you want to serve. I want you eating right. I want you drinking right. I want you taking care of your body. I want you looking at self-care as something that's highly important. Stop, men especially, stop looking at self-care like it's only for the ladies. And if you're a lady, stop looking at self-care like it's some quarterly thing that you do where you go get a massage and a pedicure and say, yeah, I had a self-care day. No. Every single day, we got to be taking much better care of ourselves if we want to get to this next level. And all of this power, all of this desire that we have inside of us, we could be making some stronger moves, y'all. We just got to press a little bit deeper. So I hope this exit strategy conversation helped. But I really want you guys to just kind of take a glimpse of where you could be up against where you are right now. And you don't have to beat yourself up, but the reality is, good morning. The reality is you're much better than some of the stuff that you've been putting up with. You're much better than some of the situations that you allow inside of your life. You the bomb for real. You were made inside of God's image and likeness. It's time for you to start showing up as this amazing person. This does not mean you got to put pressure and stress on yourself, but it does mean that every single morning you look at yourself in the mirror and say, man, you cold. You're amazing. I'm going to start acting amazing today. I'm not going to allow people to stress me out, to depress me, to cause me to be anxious, to cause me to be nervous and afraid. There's some people probably within your life right now that you've been acquiescing to. You've been allowing them to seem much more bigger than you are, and you've been settling to this other place. No, you're amazing. You got to start acting amazing. When you walk into rooms, Don't walk into rooms like the old you. You got to start walking into these rooms like the new you. Like the new you would be so confident, so bold, so courageous that they would shake hands with everybody in the room, that they wouldn't be nervous. They wouldn't look at somebody's title or the amount of money that they're making as somehow better than they are. No, not at all. Like who you are at this very moment, you deserve to be around Oprah. You deserve to be around President Obama and Michelle. You deserve to be around all the heavy hitters that's all over the world. Why? Because you got something inside of you that they don't got. What is that thing, man? What is that thing that I got that they don't got? That thing inside of you that they will never be able to compete with. This is your authenticity. This is your uniqueness. This is the way that God made you. And when you show up and give us this inside of this world, your amazing gift, then now our life changed. Now humanity gets better as a whole because you showed up. But what happens when you don't show up? Well, it's a whole lot of people that's not getting help right now. Somebody's breakthrough right now is inside of your mouth. So somebody's breakthrough, like them breaking through some challenging situation inside of their life. Someone's breakthrough is right inside of your mouth right now. And you're going to say, Manny, I'm not a speaker. I see what you're trying to do right now, Manny. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a coach. I ain't trying to talk to people like that. I just got this bath bomb that I made. I just sell computers. That's what I do. But somebody's breakthrough is still inside of your mouth too. And this is why you have to start speaking a little bit more. Even if you never have a desire to be a coach, you never have a desire to be a speaker, you still need to be speaking more because this is how you generate sales. With your charisma, with your enthusiasm, with your stick-to-itiveness, with your desire to go out there and make stuff happen, people are compelled to spend their money with you. Simply because you seem to be somebody that's important. You seem to be somebody that's making moves that can help them get to the next level too. So they want to be around you. But if you keep your mouth closed, they can't get their breakthrough and you can't go to the next level. In this day and age, it's not enough just to have a good product. Now that sounds crazy, don't it, y'all? Manny, what do you mean? It's not enough to have a good product? I got this great thing. I developed it. It's dope. Everybody like it, but ain't nobody buying it. Like, I don't know when my time is coming. Your time is going to come when you position yourself as a key person of influence. You got to be an industry leader. You got to be one of the top dogs. People need to be talking about you. Why aren't you collaborating with other people? Why aren't you doing live events in your city? Why aren't you doing more live videos to do demonstrations of how your product works, how your service actually works, to allow people to finally get engaged and inspired to want to buy something from you? But if you're keeping your mouth closed because you're so afraid of somebody not liking you, let me free you. You're a part of my audience. I appreciate you for being here this morning. Let me free you. Somebody undoubtedly is not going to like you. Let me just free you and say that. Somebody in this world is going to look at your product, look at your service, and they're not going to like it. Guess what? They rejected it. And you don't like that word rejection because it seems so harsh. It seems so mean. It seems like it just cuts inside of you, like it's doing some damage to you. It's only hurting you because you're allowing it to hurt you. Come on, y'all. Rejection in and of itself is an amazing thing. Somebody is telling you, I don't like you. I don't like your product. I don't like your service. So now they can move on to somebody else and stop wasting your time. The problem with most business owners, y'all, what's up, sis? Is we are pursuing people that don't want to be pursued. Like, we're trying to market to people that have made it very known that I don't like your particular product. I've been following you for the longest. I ain't bought nothing yet. Why do you keep trying to market to me? Let's start to market to the people that's already listening to us, that already have shown an interest. So yes, we got to get into this email marketing situation and conversation, because if I were you, I would start building up an email list. Stop depending only on social media to generate sales. Social media, I told the client this the other day, has turned into a big swap meet. Yeah, I said it. Maybe I'm probably one of the first ones that's out here just telling the truth about it. Social media has turned into this big swap meet where every time you look up, somebody's trying to sell something to you. But when social media started, y'all, it was meant to build relationships. This is what the whole game is for. Like, you're supposed to be cultivating and building relationships with people. When you do, they want to buy something from you. But if you look at the relationship as only transactional, then if I'm not buying anything from you, then maybe you feel like I'm not important anymore. Like, maybe I should get off of your page because you only talking to the people that's about to buy something. No, we got to get back to the relationships. So back to this rejection conversation. You can't be fazed by the rejection. This is why you want to scream from the mountaintops what it is that you do. Don't be afraid. Don't be nervous. Don't be scared. For what? These people, if they say they don't like it, rejection, the word reject means not to one's taste. That's all it means. That's all that it means. It means not to one's taste. So when somebody is rejecting you, they're simply saying, I don't have a taste for this. It's not that I won't have a taste for it later. Think about you as a human being. You might have loved apples for a season, but then you don't like apples no more. Then you switched over to blueberries. Now you don't want to eat no more blueberries. Now you switched over to pineapples. And now you this, and now you that. You keep changing your taste buds because you have different desires for different seasons. Woo! This is getting good, y'all. This is getting good. Listen, there have been some clients that have worked with me back in 2019 because they had a need at that time for what Manny had available. But now in 2022, they no longer need me, and it doesn't mean that I'm not valuable because they don't need me. Hope y'all catching this. Listen. Them rejecting you is not a bad thing. That does not mean you're not valuable. You're still valuable. They just don't want it, or they just don't need it at this particular time. They might circle back later. Think about you having a desire to go buy a hammer, right? Now, does this mean that hammers are no longer valuable just because you don't need one at that time? No, because when you needed a hammer, you went to Home Depot, you went to Lowe's or some other store, and you got you a hammer because you had a need for the hammer. You have to show people in your marketplace, this is good, y'all. I'm going to record this, and I'm going to make sure that I share this with some other people to be able to hear this. This is so good. You need to get to the point within your product that you're not concerned with the people that don't like it. You got to continue to speak to the people that have a need for what it is that you have. Just like I talked about the hammer. The hammer is valuable, but you don't need it all the time. You are valuable, but they're not going to need you all the time. They're going to use you when you are available to help them. When they're done, they're going to put you back down on the shelf, and they're going to move on to something else that's going to help them at that particular time. Look, as much as we love pizza, y'all, most people love pizza. You don't want to eat pizza every single day. You have a need for the pizza, a desire for pizza. You smashed it. Then you were done. You moved on to something else. Everybody is not going to have a need for you all the time. And we have to get past ourselves and maybe get to this place of a little bit more humility, right? To realize that, yes, I'm valuable, but the people that's buying from me, they're not going to need my service or my product all the time. But I'm going to show up when they need me. Because they're going to have some friends, some family members, some coworkers that can also use this amazing things. If y'all getting anything out of this, put a 1 in the chat, please. I'm going to just stop talking for a minute. I've been running my mouth, y'all. I've been running my mouth this morning. I'm trying to give y'all some game. If y'all enjoying any of this, put a 1 in the chat. Everybody's not going to have a need for you at every given time. But this is why on social media, if I were you, I would start positioning your brand a little bit differently. I would stop trying to sell all the time. And I probably sound crazy, like, Manny, what do you mean? Like, you want me to stop selling so much in order to generate more sales? Yep. Because guess what, y'all? And you've seen this several times yourself. Think about the celebrities that you love, the people with blue check marks that's all over social media. They're not trying to sell to their audience every single day, y'all. Why? Why are they doing that? Because they are a key person of influence. They're an industry leader, so they know they're going to generate sales regardless. They know that they always going to have people in their inbox. They know that they're going to be sending out emails to their email list. Hey, Tania, good morning. I hope you're doing well. They're sending out emails to their audience because they know that this is the place that they can sell. Listen, you being courageous enough to just say, you know what, y'all, register through my Eventbrite for my webinar. I'm having a webinar in 2 weeks. I'm going to be talking about this particular subject matter. I just want y'all to register for the free webinar. You ain't got to pay for it. Just go to this Eventbrite link, register for the webinar, and then when they do show up, y'all, you're going to give out some game regarding your industry, regarding whatever product or service you're selling. And at the end, you're going to sell them. You're going to make an offer to them. But guess what? During this time of this webinar, you're giving out so much game, so much value, right? That they feel compelled to buy something from you because they look at you as a master in the industry. Because most people that are average, they ain't even going to do no webinar. They ain't even going to put themselves out there because they so scared. I want you to transition in this season, y'all. Listen, I know deep down inside that you could be living an amazing, incredible life, but you're going to have to do something drastically different than you've been currently doing it. And your brand is dope. You have a great product, but nobody knows anything about it. And then for the people that do know something about it, you just been trying to shove it down their throat. Like, here, buy this, buy. Like, I don't want it. Leave me alone. They don't want it if you keep trying to sell it to them like that. You have to make offers. They have to see that you're valuable in the way that you talk about your brand. So, if I were you, you ain't got to do this. I'm not your coach, but if you allow me to coach you just for a little bit, I will. If y'all are going to allow me to coach you for the next 2 minutes and I'm going to get out of your hair, just put another one in the chat to say, Manny, coach me real quick. Because I want to give you some game as we close. Good morning, good morning. This is going to be the way that your brand is going to explode, that your social media likes, your comments, everything is going to get way bigger and better. I'm going to give you this game. If y'all want it, put a 1 in the chat. I just got to get at least one in the chat before I continue to give you this free game that's going to allow your social media to explode. I'm going to wait on you. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. I'm going to wait on you. I'm going to wait on you because I know that you're the type of person that is going to take action. So once I give you this playing strategy, okay, there we go. So if I were you, I would start building a lifestyle brand on social media. Your social media page is not like the others is going to be a swap meet. You need to start allowing people into your circle a little bit more. This doesn't mean you got to share everything. But what if you identify 5 to 7 things that you don't mind sharing on social media and you just put those in rotation? And within there, you still talked about your product or service, but you didn't talk about it like some sleazy salesman. You didn't talk about it like you were desperate for another sale or opportunity. You came from the position almost like you were a celebrity already and you weren't thirsty. That you were just building your brand real laissez-faire, that you were showing different content when you go different places. If you're taking a walk, you showed that. If you're drinking more water, if you out with your friends at an event, you just capturing these different moments of your life. And you're doing storytelling, because when you do it this way, now everybody is much more interested in you because you seem more interesting. If you're that guy or girl that's continuing to sell every single post, then you don't seem interested. I already know what you do. I don't feel compelled to follow your page or to come to your page manually to see what you've been up to, because I already know what you've been up to. You're about to sell to me again. But if you give me a taste of your lifestyle, now I'm intrigued. Now I want more. Now I'm staying on your page on a consistent basis. So hopefully this was somewhat helpful, y'all. You see it behind me. Do it now. Take action today, y'all, for your brand, for your business, for your lifestyle to go to a brand new level. You got to start taking action. If y'all need anything, y'all reach out. Peace and blessings.